You thought going solar would just slash your bills, give you energy freedom, and finally put you ahead financially. But instead, you're starting staring at numbers that don't make sense. Your savings are smaller than expected or maybe non existent. And now you're wondering what went wrong because on paper, solar is supposed to work. But in reality, most people never hit the savings they were promised. And it usually comes down to a few hidden factors that almost nobody explains clearly before you install. The first and biggest issue is system sizing. A lot of solar systems are undersized or oversized for the actual usage of the home, and both scenarios hurt you financially. If your system is too small, you're still buying a significant amount of power from the grid, especially during peak hours when rates are highest. And if it's too large, you're producing excess energy that often gets credited back at a much lower rate than you pay, which means you're basically selling low and buying high. And that gap quietly eats into your savings every single month. Then you're got rate structure, that which is where things really start to get tricky because utility companies don't just charge a flat rate anymore. And many areas use time of use pricing where electricity is more expensive during certain hours, usually in the late afternoon and the evening when solar production is dropped off. So even if you generate a lot of power during the day, you might still be buying expensive electricity at night. And unless your system is designed around that reality, your savings will never match the projection you were shown. Not metering it is another huge factor. And this is where a lot of people get blindsided because older solar setups benefited from full retail net metering, meaning every kilowatt hour you sent to the grid was credited at the same rate you got paid. But many utilities have moved away from that model, replacing it with reduced compensation rates. So now the energy you export is worth less than what you import. And that alone can cut your expected savings significantly without changing anything about your actual system. Battery storage is often presented as the solution to this problem, but it comes with its own trade offs because while batteries let you store excess energy and use it later during peak pricing hours, they add a significant upfront cost. And depending on your usage and local rates, it can take a very long time to break even on that investment. So while batteries can improve your independence and optimize usage, they don't automatically guarantee better financial returns. And in some cases, that actually delay your overall payoff timeline. Another overlooked issue is energy consumption habits because solar doesn't reduce how much energy you use. It only changes where it comes from. And if your usage increases after installation, which happens more often than people expect, your savings shrink. People start running AC more, adding appliances, or just being, less mindful because they assume the system will cover it. But the math doesn't work that way. Higher usage means higher costs whether you have solar or not. Installation quality also plays a big role than most people realize because panels orientation, shading, wiring, and inverter efficiency all impact how much energy your system actually produces. Even small inefficiencies can add up over time, and if your system isn't performing at its projected output, your financial returns drop accordingly. And the problem is, many homeowners never track the performance closely enough to catch these issues early. And financing is another major piece of the puzzle, and this is where a lot of savings disappear. Because if you finance your system with a loan, your monthly payments might offset or even exceed your utility savings, especially in the early years. And if the loan terms include high interest rates or long durations, you could be paying significantly more over time than the system actually saves you. And leasing or power purchases agreements can be even more limiting because while they reduce the upfront costs, they often lock you into a long term contract with escalating payments that eat into potential savings. There's also the issue of maintenance and degradation too. Because solar panels, they don't maintain the peak efficiency forever. They slowly lose the output over time, typically around 0.5% to 1% per year. And while that might not sound like much, over a decade or two, it adds up very quickly. And if you factor in the potential maintenance costs like inverter replacement, the long term financial picture becomes less straightforward than the initial sales pitch suggested. Weather and location play a role too because solar production isn't consistent year round. Cloudy days, seasonal changes, and geographic differences all affect the output. And while the installers use average to estimate the production, real world conditions can vary. And those variations can impact your actual savings, especially if your financial expectations were based on the ideal scenarios rather than conservative estimates. Another thing most people don't consider is utility policy changes over time because the rules that apply today might not be the same in 5 or 10 years. And net metering policies can change, rates can increase, and new fees can be introduced. And all those factors can influence how much your system actually saves you in the long run. And since solar is a long term investment, those uncertainties matter more than most people think. So if your system isn't saving you money, it's not because solar itself doesn't work. It's because the system, the pricing structure, and your usage patterns aren't aligned in a way that maximize the financial benefit. And the good news is there are always ways to fix or at least improve the situation, starting with understanding your actual energy usage and comparing it to your system's production. Because once you know the gap, you can start making adjustments that move you closer to real savings. And one of the simplest changes is shifting your energy usage to match your solar production. Like running high energy appliances like laundry, dishwasher, or charging during peak sunlight hours instead of at night. And while this might seem small, it can make a noticeable difference over time because you're using your own energy instead of buying at higher rates. And if your utility uses time of use pricing, this becomes even more important because aligning your usage with lower cost periods can significantly improve your overall savings. And in some cases, adding a smaller battery system or a smart energy management tool can help automate this process without requiring constant attention. Monitoring your system performance is also critical because if something isn't working efficiently, you need to catch it early. And many modern systems come with apps that show real time production data. And, and taking a few minutes to check those regularly, it will help you identify the issues before they become costly problems. And if your system consistently underperforms, it might be worth having it inspected to see if adjustments or repairs are needed. And if financing is the issue, refinancing or paying down the loan faster can sometimes improve your financial outcome. And while that's not always possible, understanding the true cost of your financial or financing help you make better decisions moving forward. Because the goal isn't just to have solar, it's to have solar that actually saves you money. And in some cases, expanding or modifying your system might make sense, especially if your energy usage has increased significantly since the installation. Adding more panels or integrating storage could help you better match your production to your needs, but this has to be evaluated carefully to ensure the additional investment actually improves your overall return. The bottom line is that solar isn't a guaranteed money saver. It's a tool, and like any tool, it only works if it's used correctly and designed around your specific situation. And the biggest mistake people make is assuming the initial estimate is the final outcome, when in reality it's just a projection based on a set of assumptions that may or may not hold true over time. If you approach solar with a clear understanding of these factors and actively manage how you use the monitor your system, you can still achieve meaningful savings. But if you set it and forget it, expecting it to handle everything automatically, there's a good chance you'll end up disappointed. Not because solar failed, but because the system wasn't optimized for how you actually live and use energy. And that's the difference between a solar setup that looks good on paper and one that actually delivers real financial results over the long term. If you found value in today's video, make sure you subscribe. Without you, I can't grow the channel, and we need subscriptions here at this channel. That's what YouTube says to be able to make it. So, if you would, subscribe if you found value. Also, check out this video to the right. It could also help you on your off-grid tiny house journey. Also, too, I just want to say, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I try to respond to every positive comment, and I ignore the negative ones. So if you're going to post something negative, don't waste my time and don't waste yours. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.